Fala pessoal, sejam todos bem-vindos ao meu canal. Eu sou a Ai e galera, assim, estou trazendo aqui para vocês mais um vídeo de Starfield. Eu espero que vocês estejam gostando da série. Caso ainda não seja inscrito no canal, convido você a entrar e dar uma olhada nos meus vídeos. E se gostar, já se inscreve para ficar por dentro de mais vídeos de Starfield e de outros jogos também. Então, gente, aqui nós terminamos as missões, né, as quests da Eugene. E eu selecionei aqui pra gente voltar com ela, que é a da Frota Escarlate, aquela que eu tava fazendo, né? Que eu acho que só faltou finalizar. Vamos falar com ela.
Excellent. Let me have it, and I'll upload it to our database. It's amazing that all this romantic nonsense about Crix's legacy really just amounts to a rumor Jasper Crix picked up in jail. It just goes to show you how a tiny rumor can snowball into a full-blown fairy tale. Find anything else? Tisk, tisk. Looks like Mr. Rokoff lied on his application to Trident Luxury Lines about having a clean record. No matter. Next time he jumps from the key, we'll have him picked up. That will be one less fleet captain for us to worry about. Anything else? Are you kidding me? Dombrowski was already making a six-figure salary, and yet he couldn't resist.
Eu posso entregar tudo assim?
It makes me sick. It's gonna be an absolute pleasure to throw his butt in prison. Have any more? Benjamin Bayou, pride of the Free Star Collective. The authorities there have been trying to nail him for a long time. Bringing us proof that he's been manipulating Generdyne from the shadows is pretty tasty stuff. The FC will pay dearly for this. Good job. That it? That's a hell of a story. I still can't believe Crix ended up being marooned on the legacy. All that wealth, and the only thing he could do was stare at it. Can you imagine? I almost feel bad for him. It must have driven the guy crazy. Any other fragments? Yeah, you're right. But there's no way this was a solo job. Shifting all those parts takes serious manpower. I'll send this to Mast so they can shake the tree a bit. See what falls out. Looks like Durand better start looking for parts somewhere else. Any other fragments?
Sei tudo mesmo, então.
Mr. Yasso is actually Lionel Soto. We thought Soto was dead. At least, that's what the records told us. I'll have the records updated, but seeing as Mr. Yasso has surrounded himself with the Crimson Fleet, there isn't much we can do. Yet. Have any more?
Nossa, filha.
All right. Keep up the good work. That's right. Since you're no longer undercover, you now have full access to our mission boards, just like other special agents. We'll be here if you need us.
Go back.
Tá
Anything to
bom. Não sei onde...
A few years ago, the Crimson Fleet killed somebody close.
Eu ia falar, não sei onde está o painel de missões dele. Ó, tem mais missão que eu vou pegar pra deixar já na minha lista de missões. Eu acho melhor.
About this day for
Já pegar. E deixa eu ver agora o que eu vou selecionar aqui pra gente fazer. Tá? Agora eu selecionei a da UC pra gente vir também concluir aqui, né? Que eu deixei pra fazer depois.
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
Essa faz tempo que eu fiz, hein?
When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for? I haven't been to Londinian in many years. Why? Is there some way I could be of assistance? Were you able to recover what you were looking for? Good news, then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramorphs, no? Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us. You know, you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau City. New Atlantis. My doing.
Meu Deus.
Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. Not a bad thought. But no. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plan,
Correção?
I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death, it was the only option that made sense at the time. Easy to say now, but in that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What
Nossa.
luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You. Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria, the pilot of the Warlock, the man I had to eliminate, to hide my secret. There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other, and we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday. You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together. Something. And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come. Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in
Eu
mind.
não vou proteger ele, não.
We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
Olha as coisas que esse cara fez. E ainda colocou a culpa só no outro lá pra limpar a barra dele. Ó, you see a Freestar, a Frota Escarlate e aqui... Não é a área disso aqui. Enfim.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acyles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant? I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it? It takes some deeply twisted logic to think anything did more harm to the Sanan name than him.
I know what it's like having a famous name, but this is flat out insane. Monstrous.
Well, once we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again. My hope would be that whatever connections he's got to the outside world disappear. Make sure his future schemes and machinations stay in his cell with him. But honestly, I'm not sure. He's in a unique position and has done a special kind of harm to the colonies. Exactly. Bring justice to everyone he's hurt. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the terramorphs. And here we go.
Vamos lá então, né?
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report and the second one I just received, it seems the terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
É, filho, tudo é possível.
Receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
É, aqui a gente tem a opção de ajudar o carinha lá, mas gente, eu não vou ajudar. Eu não acho certo ajudar ele não, depois de tudo que ele fez.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use terramorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sanon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
It just transformed. A terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this. And said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain?
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies...
Pois é, filha, depois de tanto que eu me arrisquei com aqueles terromorfos malditos...
failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Vavictus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately. It's well past due. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches. The three of you have likely spared thousands of lives.
Nós nos arriscamos para isso tudo, né?
This can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Então...
I'm glad you think so. So then, to our final topic.
Por favor.
The cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the terramorph, and now also heat leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation.
Nem isso vocês conseguem fazer?
We've had a few discussions, but our group is similarly split. Only the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain,
sério?
I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Glad to see someone's not afraid of a little applied genetics. The science division is in full agreement.
Let's just hope we're not creating a bigger problem than we're solving.
You needn't be so afraid. We aren't some cowboys. This will be handled responsibly.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
You, Sam.
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Ela me agradeceu bastante. 14 mil. Caraca. Uma coisa. Meu dinheiro. Gente, nem eu acredito que eu tô com tudo isso. Meu Deus do céu. 589 mil. Bom, vamos falar com ele aqui então. Com o Jonah.
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Obrigada.
No need to thank me. You brought this all on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access. Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Olha com Percival.
Sure, he'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me.
Só que antes de falar com ele, onde que é a imobiliária mesmo, que eu não me recordo? Eu lembro que eu entrei nela, acho que é ali, não é? Aquela construçãozinha no centro ali.
It's a buyer's market right now. Good time to make a move. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen. You've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis.
Obrigada.
In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Tenho interesse.
You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located...
Ela olha pro negócio e já cadastra assim, ó. Um piscar de olhos.
You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Material de construção, chave de cobertura. Visite sua nova cobertura. Meu Deus, ela tá perdida. Cadê o ponto? Ah, eu encontrei. Ela não sei por que não tá aparecendo essas missões que elas não estão localizando, mas elas estão aqui, ó. Cadê? Aqui, ó, atividade, tá vendo? Visite sua nova cobertura em Nova Atlântida. Aí tá aqui, fale com Percival, e etc, etc. E por que não tá aparecendo essas missões? Ela não tá localizando, mas... Vamos ver a nossa casa nova. Meu Deus, eu já sabia que essa missão, quando terminasse, você ganhava um apartamento. Mas eu não sabia como ele era. Nossa, vai ter que mobiliar tudo. Isso é uma porta? Não, uma parede. Caraca. Aqui é uma despensa. É tipo uma despensa. E aqui? Oh, um banheirinho de qualidade maior que o meu quarto. Deixa eu ver. Aqui é a nossa suíte, né? Que é outro banheiro. Ou é um armário? É um banheiro. Meu Deus do céu. Ah, ele podia abrir, né? Privada escondidinha aqui. Muito bom. Gente, olha essa vista. A gente consegue ver nossa nave lá, ó. A minha nave é ali, ó. Ó. Dá pra fazer uma viagem rápida diretamente pra lá, ó. A gente não precisa nem correr até lá. Caraca. Nossa, eu nem tinha reparado que tinha aquele outro negócio ali, ó. Creio que seja um ar-condicionado. Vamos ver outra vista aqui. Deixa eu pular. Meu Deus. Realmente dá pra pular. Eu achei que não ia dar, não. Caraca. Com certeza se eu cair eu morro, né? Gente, estamos de casinha nova. Muito bom. Tá, eu tô fuçando aqui, né? Tem que entrar aqui e apertar o X para decorar. Aí aqui, e aí? Ok. Fabricação, móveis. Decorações. Exposição. Miscelânea. Ó, tem muita coisa, gente. Fabricação. Não tem tanta coisa assim, vai. Eu já voltei para a mesma aba. Mas dá pra fazer uma decoração bonitinha aqui, gente. Tá, eu vi. Muito bom. Nossa, eu quero decorar tudo isso aqui. Quem sabe eu ainda trago um vídeo pra vocês, né? De quando ele estiver prontinho. Ou coisa do tipo. Gente, porque eu sou péssima pra decoração. Eu demoro muito, tipo, não é coisa rápida que eu faço. O vidro tá sujo, hein, Yossi? Eles me deram um apartamento de qualidade com esse vidro imundo, assim, não bate nem reflexo. E olha isso aqui. Manchado. Que vergonha, um apartamento desse escalão, desse jeito. Eu não consigo nem entrar no box. Por que tem um rolo de papel toalha aqui dentro? Enfim. Opa, tem mais uma porta aqui. Uma lavanderia. E aqui? Uai, gente, eu não sei o que eu vou fazer, ó. Deixa eu mostrar aqui o que eu estou pensando. Aqui eu vou fazer a sala, né? Sala de jantar. Não sei se eu vou ter recurso suficiente pra fazer isso, mas eu vou fazer como padrão de casas, né? Aqui vai ser a minha despensa. Ó, tem até uma geladeirinha que a gente abre. Abre, tá vazia, mas abre. E a nossa despensa aqui, né? Ainda mais banheirinho padrão para as visitas. O espelho também tá sujo, tá imundo. Meu Deus, que porquice. Aqui é o meu quarto, padrão, né? O banheirinho, sempre você não vai morar aqui. Eu fiquei preocupada. Falei, será que eu fiz escolhas erradas e eu não vou ganhar meu apartamento? Eu fiquei chateada. Mas conseguimos aqui. Então, pessoal, eu vou encerrar esse vídeo por aqui, né? Eu espero de verdade que vocês estejam gostando da série de Starfield. Avaliem o vídeo, comentem o que eu posso melhorar, deem dicas, porque isso é sempre bem-vindo, né? Se você ainda não é inscrito no canal e gostou do que viu, convido você então a entrar e dar uma olhada nos meus outros vídeos também, para ter um gostinho a mais. E já se inscreve para ficar por dentro de mais vídeos de Starfield e de outros jogos também. Então, pessoal, obrigada por assistir. Até um próximo vídeo. Valeu e falou!